Yo, welcome back to Hype Empire. I'm your boy Envy.
And I'm your boy Oscar.
I'm your boy Jay. And last but not least, we got Ruth with us.
Ruth in the house.
What's
Our
going on,
first
Ruth?
guest. Appreciate you
What's
being on
up?
our show, man. Appreciate it.
I appreciate for all the consistent comments and
Oh yeah,
being one of the first subscribers.
yeah, we appreciate that. So how you doing, Ruth?
Doing good.
All right, Ruth. What really intrigued us to interview you is your comments on our subject on ghosts and aliens. So, what made you look into that? Playing with the pendulum and looking up spirits and stuff.
So at first I was like a hardcore skeptic. Like I did not believe in any of that stuff at all.
Mhm.
But I still thought it was kind of interesting just because it's something out of the ordinary. But then I started to go through weird experiences in my house. But prior to that, we had already lived in this house for like 11 years and nothing had happened. So at first I was kind of like, well, maybe I'm just going schizophrenic or I have like something wrong with my mind. But then my sister started to experience some of the things that I was experiencing. So that's how it all started.
And what's the difference between that board, or I don't know what that is exactly, or a Ouija board? What's the difference between the two? Or they're the same thing?
It's basically like the same thing, except the Ouija board has the, I think it's called a planchetta, the thing where you put your hands on.
Oh yeah.
And the pendulum, it's like a necklace with the crystal
Oh
on it.
yeah.
And then it moves. Some people have a little board with letters or a yes, no, maybe. And then the necklace is supposed to land on one of those three answers.
Yeah, I think I saw that board, that thing on I think it comes out on what's that doll's one? What's that doll called?
Oh, Annabelle?
Yeah, I think I saw that thing on there, on those people that use it. I think that's
I
where
was
I
about
saw
to
that.
say Chucky.
You're showing your age, Jay. You're showing
I
your
think
age.
so,
Stop
yeah.
it. So
wait.
that pendulum, like, how does it work? Is somebody holding it, or does it sit on?
There's different kinds. There's one that it moves on its own. You kind of just release it.
Mhm.
It's like a little ball, and you just release it once, and it moves on its own, like in the shape of a star, kind of.
Okay.
And then there's other ones where you hold it like a necklace, and then it'll, like, you have to hold it still, and it's supposed to supposedly move.
Okay.
Damn. And those experiences that you're having, was it anything ever like physical? Like did it ever physically hurt you, or you just like saw things?
It started off with sleep paralysis. So at first I didn't really think anything of it, but then it would progress. Like it was sleep paralysis and I was like, oh, I don't know, maybe I watched too much Ghost Adventures. So then I would stop but then eventually I would have sleep paralysis and then I would see like a black figure by my bed. So then I was like, okay, maybe I watched something. And then after that it was like sleep paralysis, the black figure, and now they're kind of trying to talk to me.
Did you ever investigate what that sleep paralysis means?
I did, but most of the time they were just like, oh, it's just your mind being I think trying to wake up but your body's still asleep and there's like a delay. So then but then for me it was like, well, no, because some of the times I'm not even asleep when I'm having the sleep paralysis, so how can that be? So that's how it kind of all started, because the scientific side of it was not coinciding with, I guess, the paranormal part of it.
Damn, man. Yeah, because well, I've had it, and Jay said
Yeah.
you had it too, and
Yeah.
I don't know. There's more meaning behind it. I've never had an encounter like yours, but yeah, I have had that sleep paralysis.
Hey, when these spirits or entities, whatever they are, try to speak to you, can you speak back to them?
I can. And sometimes they ask permission. They ask permission to. Um, some of them ask permission to like speak to me before they even tell me anything. But most of the time, it just sounds like a lot of noise. Kind of like how, like when you're at the mall and you just hear noise coming from everywhere, and it's all like,
Yeah.
kind of like that.
Hey, yo,
It,
that doesn't wig you out? Like, damn, yo, man, that stuff you see on movies, and dang, that scared me. That doesn't scare you?
at first it did, but now it's been like 4 years. I'm a little bit used to it now, but I still get scared sometimes.
And when it does scare you, what do you do? What can you do?
I just start praying, and because at first, sometimes when I start praying, right away it goes away. But other times, like no matter how hard I pray or anything, nothing happens. It's just kind of like it doesn't like I don't know, it doesn't go away. So I just have to wait for it to go away.
And you can see them or you can just hear them?
Um, very rarely I'm able to see them. It's usually just well, when I'm awake, it's usually more hearing them, and when I'm asleep, it's kind of like a I don't know, like a blur of images. You know, like that meme where it's like a lady doing equations in her head, and there's a whole bunch of images.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen
Mhm.
that meme, but that's what it looks like. It's just a lot of images passing by, like on the side of my head, I guess.
I don't know if you ever seen X-Men. So that when Xavier puts on that helmet, he sees all these images. No, y'all, I'm alone on
Yeah.
this one.
No, yeah, I've
No,
seen it.
No,
Yeah, I remember.
haven't seen it.
Oh yeah, that's what I pictured when you said that.
So as far as like the entities, you haven't like. I know that you say they try to speak to you. Have you had like caught anything like significant or like heard anything significant that they might try to be telling you?
The only significant thing that like proves or validates anything, like like nothing that would be like, oh yeah, that was somebody. But just one of the times I was kind of in that state where you're like about to go to sleep, so you're like relaxing, about to go to sleep. Um, someone was like, permission to speak. So I was like, yeah, go ahead. And then they were like, I need help. I'm in hell. I'm not supposed to be here. So then I was like, okay, that's creepy. But then I heard a lot of like screaming and a lot of people trying to get through. And then I got scared. So I was like, okay, no, you can't talk anymore. And then they were like, no, please wait. But they told me that when they were like, no, please wait, they told me in Spanish.
Mm.
So then I was like, oh no, that's even more weird if you're talking to me in Spanish.
You know
So
Spanish?
then I do,
Oh,
but
okay.
like, I think I always like think and dream in English. So if they were talking to me in Spanish, it was like, okay, that for sure is not my own mind playing tricks on me. So then I was like, okay, no, you can't talk to me no more. Like I'm closing this conversation. That was probably the only thing that was like a conversation that I've ever had with anything.
Is it ever anyone you might know, or you don't know them?
It's because usually the way they speak, it's like it's not like us, for example, having a conversation. It's kind of like I don't know, it's weird. Like it's not really through words, but it's hard to hear them at the same time because there's a lot of noise and they're whispering kind of and their voice is
So it's not clear.
yeah, no, it's not clear and I don't know. It's weird.
You
Like
think
it's
So
not easy.
is it something more people might have and they just don't hear it?
Well, supposedly a lot of people are born or have like psychic abilities supposedly, but we're just kind of raised in a way where we don't um like learn those abilities.
mm.
Like The
Like
Conjuring. No, you guys don't know what The Conjuring
Mm-mm.
is? I'm the only one who watches
I've
scary
never seen
movies.
that.
I
That's
think
from
I've seen it.
that's
It's
from
been a while,
Annabelle. That's those people that they
but
investigate on all those but that girl, she has special powers.
no.
Oh,
So
that's right.
I guess that's kind of goes to my question. I was gonna say, do you think it's more like you as a person that's able to hear these things, or is it like the area, like the house?
Um, Honestly, I don't know because we have lived here in this house for like now more than like 18 years maybe. And before that, because when it all started happening, I was around 24, 25. So I had been living in this house since I was 9, and nothing ever happened. Nothing scary. Like I never saw anything, heard anything, and then all of a sudden it started happening. So then I thought right away that it was me, like having a mental illness or something.
Hmm.
But then my sister was able to experience some of the things. So then that kind of like eased like my mind a little bit, knowing that okay, well, at least I'm not the only one going through it, because then that would be like more of a red flag. And then, but eventually, like it all kind of went away. So there's like, for example, I haven't really had anything or like no paranormal contact. I don't know, for maybe like a month now. So it
Damn.
just kind
So
of goes and comes, and I don't know when it'll come back. It just comes back. So maybe it's just me. I don't know.
Maybe you didn't give them permission anymore, so they're not trying to speak to you anymore. Maybe, I don't know. That's just a
Yeah,
thought for me.
maybe.
and when you talk to them out loud?
Sometimes it's out loud, and sometimes it's in my head. Like before I go to sleep, if I feel like the vibe is changing in the room, um, I kind of just say it in my head, like nobody's allowed to disturb me while I'm sleeping. Nobody can enter the room unless I allow them. But I
Mhm.
say that all in my head.
Have you ever gotten like a tarot reading or any kind of other, like, obviously not non-scientifical evaluation or something like that?
I have gotten tarot reading, like after the fact, after all of this happened, that I was more like, okay, maybe there is some existence to this. I got a tarot reading, and they told me that I had a gift that I needed to develop, but they didn't tell me what gift. So I was like, oh, I don't know if I believe that. Like, why can't they tell me specifically what gift? And
Mm.
then I got another tarot reading with somebody else, and they told me that I had psychic abilities that I needed to develop, but that they weren't able to tell me, that I had to figure it out on my own. So I was like, oh, I don't know. I'm still kind of skeptic, because it's like, why can't you just tell me?
Mm. Would you want to like get those abilities? Like, would you want to progress them?
Um, Sometimes I do, but then other times it's like, I don't know, because it's really scary. Or I don't know if it's just scary because I can't see or sense exactly what I'm feeling, if that makes sense. Because sometimes, I don't know if you've ever seen Ghost Adventures when they're like, oh, the vibe just changed. Can you feel it? I would always be like, uh huh, yeah, sure. Like, that doesn't happen. But then it started happening to me. So now it's like, but I don't know why it's changing. So I don't know if maybe I developed those abilities that I wouldn't be as scared because I would know what I'm feeling.
Do you
Mm.
ever believe that you'll ever get possessed? You're not
Um,
you're not afraid of
what?
it?
Um, well, I am afraid of it, but I don't think it would happen because demons always have to ask you first if they can inhabit you.
Mm.
So,
Where did you learn all this stuff?
um, during the time that I was going through the whole, I don't know, I call it the whole haunting, my haunting
Mhm.
phase. That's when I started to look into it. Just because previous to that, I was always more religious and I was more skeptic about it.
Did that make you more like experiencing this? Does it make you more religious?
It made me less religious.
Hmm.
But you don't, wouldn't it make you more religious being that it would, without, like you said, hell? How can there be a heaven with a hell? How can there not be a heaven with a hell?
Yeah, well, it's because sometimes scary things would be happening and I would pray, and like it's not like I was praying for $1 million. I was just praying for, I don't know, strength and maybe like my guardian angel to come, and it was like it never came. It was kind of like no one came to my aid. It was just me.
But don't you think
And
that
it's
makes
like
you stronger?
maybe, but I just felt like I had been left alone.
Yeah, like abandoned. But I mean, to me,
Um,
sometimes there's things that you kind of have to go through by yourself. As much as they want to help you, them actually helping you wouldn't actually do you any good. It'd be more of a crutch than anything. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I don't know.
Hmm.
I just feel that maybe I don't know much about it, but I'm just guessing that maybe it is more like he has more faith in you than you have yourself.
Yeah. Well, that's another way to put it, I guess.
You said your sister went through some of the same things you did. Does she still go through some of those things?
Um,
Or was it only in the house that you're in now?
well, one of the things was that we were both in her room, which is now my room. Um, we were just chilling, and then we were like, hey, well, we're gonna go to sleep. And then we went to sleep, but then we both started having the same exact dream. And then I started to have sleep paralysis. And at the time she was pregnant, so I was like, I don't know why, but I was like, oh, I have to wake her up because she's pregnant. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why I had that thought, but I was like, oh, I can't wake up. And then I was having sleep paralysis. That was one of the first times that I had sleep paralysis, um, like with someone in the room. And then, so I was trying to wake up, and then eventually I did. And then I woke her up and I was like, are you okay? And then she was like, no, I was having sleep paralysis. So then we started talking about it. And then it turned out that we were having the exact same dream. It happened the same exact way except I was able to wake up sooner, like before her, to wake her up.
And do you believe
And
your sister has these abilities as well as you do, or
I don't think so. And if she does, she probably like suppresses them because I think she's more of a skeptic than I am.
Do you think maybe like believing in this, like not being in denial, kind of like gives more like opportunity to like contact you, or you know what I mean?
um,
Like kind of
um
accepting the fact, you know what I mean?
so far nothing has really happened that I would completely be like, because even with everything that has happened to me, I'm still kind of a skeptic
Hmm.
in a way. Nothing, like now that I'm more open to it, nothing like significant has happened to where I could be like, okay, I'm not a skeptic anymore.
Hmm.
would you
Okay.
ever use a Ouija board like to open or broaden your ability?
Um, I don't think so. I think I'm still afraid to, but maybe eventually if I learn enough and if I learn maybe how to protect myself better, I would be open to it.
Where would you learn something like this though? Like obviously there's books out there, but wouldn't you need to maybe find a mentor or something?
Yeah, usually, well, I'm in some Facebook groups where they teach you all about it,
Hmm.
and most of them kind of guide you, but I don't know, I still think I need more knowledge because
You
they all
said
say that you can open doors that you might not be able to close if you're a beginner. And it's like, well, what doors? Like, I need to know. So I'm still like learning about it.
And you said that they ask you for things. Do they ever tell you anything? Anything useful? Anything that's going to happen? Anything to your benefit?
So far, no. The only thing was that, like, last year I was talking to this guy, and I call it my spirit guide because they were nice to me. They were like, "No, you need to stop." Of course, I didn't listen to them because I was like, "Nah, it's not like a spirit." But yeah, they were just like, "No, you need to stop." And then they kind of gave me some insights about it. And then it kind of, I don't know, like 8 months later, it turned out to be true,
Like,
but nothing significant.
like insight on him, like what he was about, or what?
Yeah,
Oh damn,
basically.
you
It's interesting.
Would you be
talking
able to
about a
say it on here,
sidekick?
or is it just personal?
But I don't know. I wish they could have just been like, "You're on the right track in school," or something more useful than "Don't talk to this guy," because it's like I could have figured it out anyway.
Do do you think maybe it did that because it wants you?
Well, it didn't tell me about the others.
Hmm.
Well, maybe they knew about you the way you felt, like your energy towards this one was stronger than the rest of them.
Maybe. I don't. Well, now that's just kind of creepy.
Yeah,
Ew.
I don't know.
Actually, I now that you mention that, I have a story because I actually told this to my cousins. I told Sarah and my cousins, like Maritza and all of them. I was I was actually sleeping in my room and I hadn't had anything like paranormal happen. But then I felt someone cuddling next to me, and for a second I was like, "Oh, I forgot that I stayed over at someone's house." But then I was like, "Wait a minute, I'm in my room." So I wake up and I look, and no, there's no one. So it could have been that. But like, what the
Mm.
hell? It was cuddling with me.
Make
And
you
for
feel
a
at home,
second,
huh?
like, it made me doubt like that I was at somebody's house.
The whole energy thing, like I honestly like believe in, you know. Um it's I don't know. It's you know how I said before, like I really don't believe in anything, but that's one thing I do believe in is energy and the soul and everything. So with all that being said, like how do you feel, like do you feel different energies at like certain times, like when this is happening? Like obviously there's good energies and bad energies.
I feel that energy shift. It's easier for me to tell when it's negative because I guess I'm always like just chill. Like I'm never really angry, so it's like I notice it right away when it's negative.
Hmm.
And then when it's positive, it's kind of hard to tell where it's coming from. Like I don't know if it's just kind of like my parents' energy, my energy, or where it's coming from.
Hmm.
Because usually when I feel like the happier or the lighter energies, like I can't really, well, they don't attack me, so I don't know if they're trying to communicate or like I don't know where that energy comes from. But when it's negative, usually, well, I call it attacking because I get scared.
Yeah.
When it's like a negative feeling, I get attacked or like I have sleep paralysis or I see things or like my curtains move randomly.
Hmm. Do you feel like so obviously those are the like the spirits and or the entities or whatever, um but like can you feel like other people's energies? Like is it
Um,
easy for you to feel other people's energies?
Sometimes like there was times where it was easier for me to do it, but I think I kind of pushed it away because I would get scared. Because sometimes I would hang out with people and I'd be like, "Oh my god, like, are you going through this?" And they'd be like, "Yeah," and then that would freak me out because it's like, well, how do I know this? Why am I feeling this? Like
Mm.
it was just creepy to me, so I think I pushed it away. So I haven't been able to. But supposedly they say that. Well, I've al- I, I've al- oh sorry, I've always had like generalized anxiety and social anxiety. And they say that usually people that are empaths or that can feel energies usually have anxiety because they feel everybody's energy and it's overwhelming. So I was like, well, that makes sense, but I'm not 100% sure where I feel comfortable saying, like, okay, yeah, this, like, I am an empath or anything like that.
Yeah, I've heard of that stuff. My wife likes to look up that stuff. She talks about it all the time. But yeah, I've known a couple of people that they said they're empaths, and you can kind of tell by what you said. Your definition of them, like they're kind of like standoffish and social anxiety and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Does everybody in the room, do you guys have that where you feel energy? Like you feel like, yo, I don't want to be here? Like I have that. Like I'll walk into a room and I kind of feel like there's some negative energy up in here. You know what? I'm out of here. Like I don't want to feel this. Like it feels.
I can tell from a person.
Yeah, me too. Like you can feel that energy. Like even not no not to say anything. What's it called? But like even with guys, like when you're around a guy, you
Yeah.
can feel like the kind of like, yo, you're a little skeptical. Like I don't know. I'm feeling getting this bad energy from you. And
I can sometimes feel it, but I'm more of like and she always gets mad at me because I always give people the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? So it's
Mhm.
always like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong or something kind of deal.
Hey Ruth, would you suggest that if you felt a certain type of energy in somebody that you knew and you knew something was off, to bring it up to them?
I guess if I knew the person, because, like, from one of my best friends, I was able to feel kind of like how she was feeling. So I asked her about it. But we're best friends, so she was like, yeah, I just didn't tell you because I know you're going through your own stuff. And then and we just talked about it. But if it was like someone that I'm not really close to, I don't think I would have the confidence to tell them.
I try to. I used to not want to help people, or not really help them, but ask that question. But honestly, ever since we did our video on depression, I find myself asking people, "Are you okay?" And then they'll say yes, because I've always asked that, "Are you okay?" And I'll say, "No, really, are you okay?" I'll ask them a second time because I think sometimes people don't like to share their feelings.
And I think that's like the general answer when you ask, "Are you okay?" Everyone will always say, "Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I'm
right."
good.
Like I'm good. Yeah, and regardless of how you're feeling, that's like the general answer you're always gonna get from people.
I think it's the whole like, oh, they're just being nice, so I'm just like they're just going through the motions kind of deal. So,
Mhm.
but when you ask the second time, it's like, oh, he sincerely wants to know
Well,
kind of deal.
the second time I ask it, it's more like a open-ended question where they have to say something, not just yes or no. I'll say, "What's wrong?"
Mm.
Yeah.
That's usually what I follow it up with. "What's wrong?" I know something's wrong. What's wrong?
And you said, Ruth, as far as belief, that you don't, you correct? You don't believe in religion, or well, you don't believe in God?
I believe that there is a God out there. I believe there's multiple ones
And
now that I'm not religious anymore.
and you pray to a certain God when you pray? Do you continue to pray?
When I'm scared, yeah.
And do you pray to a
I
certain one?
yeah, well, I was raised Catholic, so I just continue those prayers because they're the only ones that I know.
Mm.
And do they work for you?
Not always, but sometimes it's like there's a lot of like dark, and then as soon as I start praying, it's like light comes in right away. And other times it's like, no, it's just me.
Has it ever happened where you can call them on on your terms? Like let's say somebody was a skeptic, right? And they were with you. Can you call it? Have you ever been able to call them on your terms?
I've never tried it actually.
Because Jay told me he wants to take a GoPro over there and no, just because Jay's scared. I'm scared too.
No.
No, I
I
believe
don't
in
know.
God.
I might want to, but yeah, I'm afraid to. Like
Like,
I think out of all three of us, I'd probably be the one that's
yeah,
a little bit more about it because I'm just intrigued.
yeah, and I
Well,
am
there was
too,
a.
but
Oh,
I'm
go ahead.
afraid. No, yeah, I am too, but I'm afraid.
No, I'm the most afraid here. The biggest one here, and I'm the most afraid.
There was a time when me and my sister were in my room, and she had her EMF detector on, and
What
she
is
was
that?
telling
What
me,
is that?
it's a device that measures electromagnetic fields.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But you have, like with that one, you have to be careful because if you put it near an outlet or near a fan or the Wi-Fi, it'll like detect it and go off. But anyway, so we were just here in my room and we had it on because we were about to start like asking questions, but then we got sidetracked and then we were just gossiping, and then out of nowhere it says like sleeping Robert. So we looked at each other because my brother-in-law's name is Robert and he was out of town and it was already his bedtime because he wakes up early for work, like at 3 in the morning. And he had just called my sister to tell her that he was about to go to sleep. And then at the time, I was also kind of dating a Robert. So I was like, what the hell? So I was like, is he talking like the entity? Like, is it talking about your Robert or mine? Because it was
So
just creepy.
This device like said words like.
Yeah, it said sleeping. I can't remember what else. And then Robert.
Wait, where
So
can
I
you get
was
one of these things?
online.
Online?
Yeah, you can also get
No.
one from your phone, but I don't know. I wouldn't trust it.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't trust
I
anything
mean,
on
I,
phone.
I mean, I guess you can. I don't know, but
I wouldn't trust it. There's too many
I would
hackers.
just get one online
I'm
for
gonna
like
look up one.
$30.
I'm gonna go to Eric's house.
Bringing that negativity in my household. Bring that to me.
Hey, none of that stuff has ever made you want to move? I would have been out of there.
Well, yeah. Well, sometimes, cause like, can we move? But my parents
mean-
are like, no, nothing
I mean,
happens to us.
I mean, even just the room. At least that. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you know what? I'm gonna tell you like this. I don't think it's the house. I think it's what Ruth said. I think it's Ruth. I think wherever she moves is gonna go follow her. I don't think it's the house.
No, but like, the weird thing is that when everything first started to happen, I traveled a lot. I went to, I think I went to Mexico. I went to Phoenix with you guys, with Jay. We went, and then we went to Las Vegas, and I didn't get sleep paralysis or anything weird like at the hotels. So that's
It's
why I
only
was
been
kind
at
of
the
like,
house.
so then I was like, oh, thank God, like I'm not crazy because it would only happen here.
Hmm.
But yeah, but
You
I don't
see,
think it's the house because my parents haven't experienced anything.
my
Maybe it's
sleep,
a combination of the two.
yeah, my sleep paralysis happened at where I used to work. So I don't know. Maybe it is the area. I'm not too sure because that's where it happened with me. Where did yours happen, Jay?
At when I lived at my mom and dad's house in my room.
Hey, you guys down to go to my old work and go sleep upstairs, Oscar?
Where's that?
Uh, it it's over there by the airport. I don't know what it's called now. It
Let's
shut
go,
down.
man. I want to buy one of those things online.
No
No,
lie, no lie, man. If you were
I'm
gonna
not allowed
feel it,
to
you'd
sleep
feel it
over.
there.
Wait, I have a question for you guys.
Go ahead.
So when you were having your sleep paralysis, did you fear for your life or did you feel like you were getting pulled out of your body?
I felt like I was about to get grabbed. I saw a big hand trying to grab my whole body. The hand was big enough to get my whole body.
Oh, that's creepy.
Me, it was just
It was a spooky, dark hand.
me, it was just a guy. Again, it was dark upstairs where we would sleep, and he would just stand over me. Like first I've seen him like 2 or 3 times, and one of the times he was far and I couldn't move. I was thinking, gosh, dang, it's happening again. And then all of a sudden he'd be right on the side of me, and I couldn't move. And when you're like that, you just try to move even your pinky. Like I try to focus all my energy on just moving even my pinky. And the thing is, you say sleep paralysis, but I felt like I was awake. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know if I was asleep, but I felt like I was 100% awake. But I was laying down. Like it's crazy. But No, I just felt like I had to move because I mean, you feel like I told you, you feel the negativity, like you feel the energy, and it wasn't no good with energy. Let me tell you. So I tried to move, but yeah, I couldn't.
I didn't have sleep paralysis, so I haven't experienced it. Hopefully, I won't.
It only
But
happens
What
to people that
what
are holy.
why did you ask what happened? If you felt like somebody was trying to pull me out of my body, because I felt like that's where I was gonna go if I didn't wake up.
Um, there's a documentary on Netflix where it talks about multiple people and their experiences with sleep paralysis, and it's usually kind of similar. That they experience like an old lady, like a black figure trying to grab them or being pulled. And then, well, I identified with the feeling like I was going to get pulled out of my body. But at the same time, because I've also had sleep paralysis, where I'm pretty sure it was just sleep paralysis because I just couldn't wake up, but I wasn't fearing for my life. Like, it was just scary, but I didn't feel like anybody was trying to pull me out of my body. And then when I do get scared, that I'm like, okay, for sure I was attacked, it just feels different. Like, I don't know, it feels different than the scientific explanation of it. And then in this documentary, a lot of people kind of had the same view as me, that like they would see like similar things. And so I also, because I remembered that in one of your other videos, Jay mentioned that maybe you just get scared because you're like afraid of something.
Mm-hmm.
But like, well, I've always kind of been weird. Like, it's not like death or skulls scare me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, I feel like if I was gonna, like, my mind was gonna project something that was scary, it would be like, I don't know, birds or spiders rather than ghosts.
That's funny that you just said Jay's two things.
I'm not scared of spiders.
Jay's not scared of
No,
spiders.
I'm
But he's
afraid of
scared
birds. Big birds.
I hate birds.
Here. Hey, how come that doesn't happen to everybody?
The sleep paralysis?
Yeah, I'll try to explain it to somebody and they'll look at me like I'm
Oscar?
crazy.
Yeah, like why does it happen to Oscar?
How can you make it happen to Oscar?
No,
And you can put in a good word.
negative. Please don't.
Well, like scientifically, you have to be restless. So I don't know, drink caffeine before going to bed, and then try to wake up in the middle of the night.
Dang.
Because they say like the way that the way they explain it, so people could understand, is that it's kind of like an 8-story building, and then the person that operates the elevator has to go through every level, shutting off the lights. So that's when you're going to sleep. It's like levels. And then when you're waking up, it goes back through the levels, but turning the lights on. And sometimes your mind is too quick, so you're awake before your body has a time to wake up, like the muscles and all of that.
You know what? That
That
makes
makes
kind of
sense.
sense because I told you I was doing security, so I really couldn't fall into a deep sleep because I still had to wake up and go back downstairs. Like, so yeah, I was trying to sleep, but at the same time, my body knew, yo, you can't fall deep asleep because you still have to wake up. So maybe that's what it was. Yo, thanks y'all for watching the video. Huge shout out to
Hey.
Ruth for being on it.
Make sure you guys drop a comment. Hey, if you have any questions, let us know. Any other comments, just let us know, guys.
All right, stay tuned to see a clip of our next video.
Thank you, Ruth. Till next time, love y'all.
Appreciate
God
it.
bless.
Thanks for having me.
Peace.
We had a special request from Maritza. Shout out to Maritza on this topic. She wants to know our views on feminism. The first question is, what can men do to bring awareness to the feminism movement?
Jay, you want to take off with this one? Go ahead.
Yeah, I got this. All right. As hard as this is for me to admit, I think the first thing is going to be that